Welcome to Follow the Money. I'm Eric Bowlings. Governor Sarah Palin was a guest on our very first show back in October 2010. The topic was the importance of integrity in our public officials, and that voice of integrity, I'm happy to say, joins me right now as my special last guest on Follow the Money tonight. Governor Palin, thanks for being here. I wanted to treat our audience to the Palin interview no one else has heard before, so here it goes.
Oh. Okay.
Tell us, you told us a great story. Tell us about the phone call you received when you first found out that Senator McCain was going to tap you to be his vice presidential nominee.
I got a call while I was at the Alaska State Fair in August of '06, and I think I was headed down a fairway amongst many people to go judge giant vegetables grown under our midnight sun up there in Alaska. Got a phone call on one of my cell phones, and it was the senator asking if I'd be interested in discussing the possibility of joining him on the ticket to run for president and vice president of the United States. And I said, absolutely, just tell me where I should be and let's chat.
And tell us what happened after that. Subsequent to that, I understand they told you to pack a bag and get on a flight.
Yep, and not to tell anybody. And I said, well, I will tell my husband where I'm headed. And I got on a flight, I believe it was the next day, packed an overnight bag, and essentially never returned home again. Had the overnight bag with me, showed up in Arizona, had a discussion with the senator and his wife, and we hit it off and decided that it would be the right thing to offer ourselves up in the name of service to the country.
And then you'd said the next couple of years were a blur.
Yes, the next couple of years, these going on 4 years now, have been quite busy, quite full. I feel very, very blessed that I've been given a platform kind of representing, I think, just normal, everyday, average American who wants the best for this country.
Governor, after the 2008 election, how did you feel?
I felt disappointed that Americans were led to believe via Barack Obama's big campaign machine and about 90% of the mainstream media going along with him, they were led to believe that fundamentally transforming our country was going to be the right thing to do. We were going to stray from constitutional principles and rules and law. And I think you can see now a reflection via the poor numbers in the economy, a less safe and secure country and world that we are in, that what he meant by fundamentally transform America isn't what the majority of voters thought we were getting.
So the campaigner, the Senator Obama, is nowhere near anything like the President Obama.
He is the same person, and I was disappointed that too many people were kind of schnookered into thinking that what he was actually articulating wasn't going to be what he followed through on, and yet it was. Eric, he promised us he would fundamentally transform America. He told us, he told Joe the plumber, his economic philosophy was socialist because he said he wanted to redistribute wealth. He's doing all that. So again, my disappointment was, darn, if we would have been able to, as campaigners and as people who had been given a platform in '06, had we been able to more fully explain to the public what we believed he meant, then maybe we wouldn't be in the boat that we're in right now.
Governor, after the election, you went back to Alaska, and then you decided not to finish out your term. A lot of Alaskans, well, they were let down because they loved you. They loved you as governor. What do you say to those people now? Well,
I'm still there, and I still am an Alaskan, and I am still advocating for the good things that Alaskans need. Energy independence. We have tens of billions of barrels of oil underground, sitting warehoused essentially, not tapped yet, hundreds of trillions of cubic feet of natural gas up in Alaska. We are America's Fort Knox up there with our minerals and our strategic location, all those things that will be good for Alaskans as we responsibly develop what God has given us, will be good for our country, and I'm out there advocating for those things. And, you know, I still live there.
Right, and you hit the trail. You went through Middle America. You went all around, and people realized you had it. You had the ability to unite people around your message. When did you realize it?
Well, maybe I still haven't realized that, Eric, but what I have realized is that, you know, we're all in this together, and we all, for the most part, Americans who aren't part of that politico bubble, we want government to work for us, not against us. We just want it off our back because we believe in the foundational principles that built America, and that is its independence, its empowerment of the people so that we can make decisions for ourselves. We have a government right now that does not trust us to make decisions for ourselves, not when it comes to health care, to light bulbs, to gas mileage, or anything else. And I believe that my message just reflects those who believe that we're smart enough and we are equipped enough to make our own priorities known based on the decisions that we feel best for our families and our businesses.
All right, Governor, you may not realize it, but you have it. I'll say you have it. But with it comes the attacks, comes the liberal mainstream media who are the haters, the drive-byers who want to take shots at you. How do you maintain Sarah Palin,
yeah.
Governor Palin, uniter, conservative? How do you maintain it with the drive-by attacks?
That's a really good question, and I have two answers, one on a personal level, one on political. Politically, first, you know, it's easy to keep things in perspective and to know how the game is played, and the game is that the liberals, especially liberal media, they can't defeat me or constitutional conservatives on the issues. You know, we know what the Constitution is. We know what the enumerated powers are there and what government can and can't do. We also know what the numbers are. We see that government dependency has increased 23% under Obama, and that 46 million Americans are living in poverty and 13 million can't find jobs, and things are worse than when Obama took over. So since they can't get me on the issues, then the game that's played is they have to try to destroy your reputation and thrash your family and come at you that way. So politically, since I know that that's the way the game's played, you know, I can live with it. I don't like it when they do it to other people, but when they do it to me, when you know what you're dealing with, it's easier to handle. Personally, the way I deal with it, I just read a verse the other day that kind of summed up for me in the Old Testament how to handle it. And it's, I believe it was Isaiah 8, 12, and 13. Basically, it says, get the chip off your shoulder. Don't ever say that there's a conspiracy out there against me. Don't ever say that you are dreading something, because if you get into that mindset, then life becomes drudgery. Life's too short to be stuck in a rut and to be bummed out. So taking a verse like that and trying to live it out, get the chip off my shoulder, remember what's really important in life. To me, it's my family, and I have a well-rounded, diverse, very full family, keeps me busy. It's my faith in God, and it's the freedom that I have as an American. I know what really matters, so all that other stuff can go away.
So the confidence of knowing you're right.
Yeah.
On both sides.
That's the bottom line, right.
You brought the House down at CPAC. I watched the speech. It was fantastic. It was the keynote speech. It was the closing speech. The place went crazy. Fantastic. Great job. But for me, the most touching, inspirational moment was when you got down off that podium afterwards and you walked through the crowd. Take me through that.
Oh, that's my most favorite part. You know, actually getting to shake hands with folks who make that extra effort to be involved and to say, enough is enough of the status quo of what government's trying to do to us. We just want to get back to common sense, constitutional principles. They've taken the effort to be there. I'm going to thank them. I was very pleased, too. My two oldest daughters were with me. I like them to get to witness, too. People who appreciate the effort that you're trying to make, it is so worth it.
Governor, my wife and I were watching, and I brought her over and said, watch this. And this is when you were in the crowd. There were people, young people, standing on chairs just to get a glimpse. They weren't even close enough to get an autograph or to talk to you. They just wanted to see you. That was inspiring. There's a young conservative movement that you may be tapping into.
I don't know. I think it's a bit of a curiosity factor there, is who is this thing from Alaska who's in our territory at this time, so maybe it's that. But Eric, what I see the coming months coming down to is those young people really tapping into this, and people of all demographics really who care about defending our republic and the future of our country. It's coming down to a big government party and a party of freedom-loving Americans, and we're going to battle it out in the court of public opinion, and we'll cast our ballots accordingly. It's not a partisan issue. It's not based on race or demographic or age or religion or anything else. It's, do you believe that government is the answer, or are you a freedom-loving American who has enough confidence in in our free market system and in yourself to make good decisions for you. And that's what I think a lot of these young kids were reflecting, is they understanding that they are equipped to make the right decisions, and some faraway elitist government in Washington, D.C. is less equipped to make decisions for them.
They may be looking for someone with that exact attitude. Do they have an option of the current candidates?
I say any of the candidates are so much better than Barack Obama. They really are. Anybody who is wise enough to have read the Republican platform and understands that it's free men and free markets and smaller government that is the answer, then you know that they have better ideas, and they should be able to err on the side of the Constitution at all times, and they will be better than what we have today in the White House.
Is that enough?
Well, what we're still lacking is a lot of that enthusiasm for any one individual. That enthusiasm will rise up when that nominee is chosen. It's just a heck of a process, Eric, to get to that point of having the nominee chosen. All of them have strengths, all four candidates, and I so respect them for being willing to serve. It's tough. I understand why others have chosen not to run this go-around, especially when you consider what we're all facing with the lamestream media trying to destroy our records, our reputations, even our families.
You said something important right there. You said this go-around. Where do you go from here?
I am thankful that I know that you, so many people, we can make a difference without having a title, without being kind of shackled to an office or put in a box right now, and that's where I am right now. But I cannot predict what will happen in the future, but I know that, you know, I've got the fire in my belly to try to help, to try to make a difference, and if that involves running for public office at some point in the future, I'm game for that.
Want to elaborate?
No,
okay,
because I don't know what it will be.
I'll let you off the hook on that one, but simply put, I have to ask this question. What is your place? Where will your place in history be? What will the political science textbooks 50 years from now say that our grandchildren are reading? What will they say regarding Sarah Palin?
My goodness, I hope that it will be some kind of reflection of the message that I have that I believe resonates with the average American, an ordinary American, again, who just wants good things for our country. And it was Lou Holtz, football great coach Lou Holtz, who had said, God didn't make ordinary people. He made all of us to do extraordinary things. So when I talk about an average, ordinary American, I say it with all due respect to every individual American being equipped to do extraordinary things, whether that's just within your family, in a business, in your small community, or in our country. Know that my message is, I believe, a representative message of Americans knowing how to keep right priorities in order, knowing how to make right decisions, not being reliant on politicians to do any of this for us. Government can't make us happy, healthy, wealthy, or wise. Americans need to not assume that the White House, that Barack Obama's administration will provide any of that for us.
Governor, a lot of people are saying it can't happen. I don't necessarily agree with them. If one of the nominees, one of the GOPers, doesn't get enough delegates, it could go to a brokered convention. If it does get to that, and someone said, Governor, would you be interested? Would you be interested?
Well, for one, I think that it could get to that, and you know, if it had to be kind of closed up today, the whole nominating process, then we would be looking at a brokered convention. I mean, nobody is quite there yet. So I think that months from now, if that's the case, then, you know, all bets are off as to who it will be willing to offer themselves up in the name of service to their country. I would do whatever I could to help.
Okay. That's fantastic. Governor, we began Follow the Money with you on our very first show. We're going to close this chapter with you on our very last interview. I couldn't have scripted it in a better way. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you. It's an honor for me, Eric. Thank you.
Great to have you. Thank you.